and after a long gap, we are conducting this session. If you can recollect, if you can recapitulate, in the last session, we were talking about COPs under UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and within that, the different COPs which are taking place, that is Conference of Parties. And we have completed the discussion, what I can recollect, we have completed the discussion on Kyoto Protocol, okay, and I have already briefed you about Kyoto Protocol in terms of the protocol was designed in 1997, but it came into enforcement, okay, it came into enforcement only when there was a provision that 55 countries will ratify, and those who are ratifying, okay, those who are ratifying, they accounts for 55% of emission. And the first commitment period of Kyoto Protocol was 2008 to 2012, and then it was decided that we will, yes, all centers, are you getting the video feed properly? Okay. Now, so what I said that Kyoto Protocol commitment phase 2 is 2012 to 2020. Okay. And then we will be taking up for discussion the Paris Climate Agreement as well. But we have completed the discussion on what is global warming, what is greenhouse effect, okay, what is greenhouse effect, and then, and then we have also attempted understanding the UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Okay. So coming back, we have to, under UNFCCC, United Nations, UNFCCC, we will be talking about, the other COPs which are happening, So COP 15, which was in the year 2009, and where was it held? Copenhagen. It was held at Copenhagen. Then COP 16 in 2010, and it was held at Cancun. Then COP 17, it was held in 2011, and it was held at Durban. No need to remember, all the places where it's happening. Recent one and important ones is what we should remember. For example, Kyoto Protocol, very important. Okay. Then COP 18 in 2012, and this was held at Doha. Then COP 19 in 2013, and this is important, this was held at Warsaw. This was held at Warsaw, Poland. Okay, this is important. Okay. Then COP 20 in 2014, it was held at Lima. Okay. It was held at Lima. So Lima in Peru. Okay. COP 21. So even this is important. COP 21, 2015, and it was held at Paris. And this is very, very important because it led to signing of the historic Paris Climate Agreement. Okay. So very important. Then thereafter, I would say that other COP if we see, right, other COP if we see, okay, then this year, okay, I would not, I would say that if you want, I can give you the name for all, but not important. 2016, okay, and it was held at Marrakesh. It was held at, no need to remember, but I will tell you what exactly you should remember and understand. Then COP23 in 2017, and this was, right, this was at Bonn. Okay, this was held at Bonn. Okay, and this was a bit unique in the sense, though it was held in Bonn, but it was Fiji, which took over as the president, okay, in November 2017, right, November 2017. Okay, then COP 24 in 2000, right, in 2018. This was at Katowice, again in Poland, okay, and so on and so forth. I don't want you to remember everything. Now, what I want you to remember, that in 2020 COP26 was scheduled at Glasgow, okay, but unfortunately because of, right, unfortunately because of COVID, the pandemic, it was postponed, and now it is rescheduled in 2021. So COP, okay, COP 26, 2021, and it will be at Glasgow. Okay. It was actually supposed to take place in which year? In 2020. But because of this COVID, pandemic COVID, it was postponed, and now this year. Now this year also it will be very important. Why it is going to be very, very important? Because, right, because already, if you remember, today I will talk about that as well, a very current development. I have already briefed you about IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. I have already briefed you that how IPCC will prepare reports. You know that 3 working groups are there, and the 3 working group in respect of 3 different aspects of climate change, they will work. Okay, they will work power saving mode mein, right? They will work. So what you will find, right? What you will find, that once all the 3 working group will submit the report, then only there will be a synthesis report, or there will be a final report which will be submitted by the IPCC. So now the first working group of IPCC, basically they will talk about the scientific basis. Now that report was published few days before, 10th of August, it entered into the public domain. Okay, and now when the parties will meet at Glasgow this year, later in November, then then there will be a different way in which they will discuss this matter of climate change, because they will have to bring in discussion and conversation what has been said in this IPCC working group first report which has now been submitted, and in 2022 only IPCC is going to submit the 6th synthesis report. So I will be telling you about the key highlights of that IPCC first working group report which got submitted in August 2021. Okay, but that report will definitely find a lot of mention when the parties will be meeting same year, this year in 2021 November at Glasgow during COP 2026. And this summit is going to be very, very important, because, right, because this year, what has started? The first year of Paris Climate Agreement has started. So we are going to talk about these things. Okay, so we have completed the discussion. We have completed the discussion regarding, we have already completed the discussion regarding Kyoto Protocol, and now after the second commitment period of Kyoto Protocol, which is over by 2020, now the world has entered in a new climate agreement regime, that is Paris Climate Agreement. Okay, that is Paris Climate Agreement. So what I was trying, to share with you all, that it's very, very important. This is very, very important. Okay. First, we need to understand what is Paris Climate Agreement, how that agreement evolved, okay, how that agreement evolved, and what are going to be the challenges as far as Paris Climate Agreement is concerned, what nature challenges are going to be there. Okay, so that we need to talk in detail, and we will take up that for discussion. So, and this is important also, Glasgow talk is important, even with this fact that you know very well that when Donald Trump was the president for United States of America, America unilaterally decided to walk out of Paris Climate Agreement, but now it has again stepped in, it has stepped back into the agreement, and first time the parties will be meeting where United States of America has said that it will be the part of, right, it will be the part of the agreement. That is something which is, right, that is something which is very, very important for you to remember. Okay. Now, I would just like you to remember this. See, as far as COP 15 in 2009 at Copenhagen is concerned, okay, this is where something very different happened. Okay, this is where I would say very interesting something happened at COP 15 in 2009. This is where two very important things happened. Number one, emergence of the concept of basic nations. Emergence of concept of basic nations. Okay, and then, right, then first time quantification of climate finance. First quantification of climate finance. Okay, so these two basic things happened at Copenhagen. Okay, at Copenhagen, and what actually was there? What actually was there? Ashish is asking about Kigali Agreement. Kigali Agreement is related with this release of ozone depleting substance. So why you are getting unnecessarily confused, man? When we will talk about, ozone depleting substance, there we will talk about, Kigali Agreement, and within that we have to first talk about, different protocols which are there. So don't confuse. This is the talk which is happening under UNFCCC, the COP which is going on. And when we will talk about Kigali, there you will find that since some of the ozone depleting substances are also greenhouse gases, so that Kigali agreement has some link, no doubt about that, but that will be discussed when we will talk about ozone depleting substance. Concentrate on climate change. Right now our discussion is on climate change. Coming back. So I told you that what was the challenge with the Kyoto Protocol? USA, which is the largest emitter of greenhouse gases, never ratified Kyoto Protocol, but never rejected also. And you know the geopolitics of the world, that the whole world also cannot compel and force USA to do something to which they don't agree. And if that matter relates with environment, it is even more difficult. Okay, even more difficult. And when the world stepped in, when the world entered in the era of this commitment, this enforcement of Kyoto Protocol in 2008, after that this was the first time when the parties were meeting. So even USA was not in favor of standing before the world as a villain character who single-handedly stopped the forward march of world to fight against the environmental problem. So even that was not acceptable to United States of America. And why it was not acceptable? Not because of any other reason, but with this fact that US wants to protect its economic interests first before it commit anything on the matter of environment. Now US could sense, US could see, US could realize that countries like China, countries like India, though they are contributing less in comparison with USA as far as emission of greenhouse gases are concerned, but they are also emitting, they are also emitting, and if there is a restriction on emission by USA and there is no restriction on emission by China and India, then it will slow down the process of economic growth in USA, and China and Chinese and Indian economy may grow much faster than American economy, and anyway it's growing much faster, okay, for various other regions as well. So what you need to understand, that USA thought that under Kyoto Protocol, what is there? Annexure 1 countries and non-annexure 1 countries. For annexure 1 countries, what is the provision? The provision is that target reduction. And non-annexure 1 country, they just have to restrict their emission, meaning they further cannot increase. But for annexure 1, they have to reduce. Now USA was in annexure 1, but China, India not in annexure 1. And at global level, American economy is competing with Indian economy and Chinese economy. So what happened, and you need to understand this, okay, because what happened, just Americans made a very smart move at Copenhagen because they have not ratified. Now the world is heading towards the commitment phase 1. World has already entered into commitment phase 1 of Kyoto, and US don't want that in the history book America should be referred as a villain. So very smart move by Americans, and in that smart move, the first to fall was none other than our own country, India. So what USA said, right, what USA proposed in Copenhagen, the concept of basic nation. Okay, so what Americans, said that, see, the world order has changed completely. They said that even if we see 1997 and by 2009, the world order has changed. And in this changed world order, there are 5 countries which actually, right, which actually are basic nation, which actually are basic nation. And what is the meaning of basic nation? Right? What is the meaning of basic nation? America coined this term by saying, "ये power saving mode में change करो ना." America, America said, okay, that these 5 countries have a big role to play as far as world economy is concerned, as far as world global fight against any social, economic or environmental problems are concerned. Okay, so this is how they coined the term basic nation, and they said that these basic nations have very important role to play. Since they have important role to play, they have greater responsibility, they have bigger responsibility. So India became very happy with this, that America has included India in the basic nation. Which countries were included in basic nation? One was, of course, United States of America, then they said China, then India, okay, then Brazil, and then South Africa. Okay, South Africa. So US included these 5 countries in basic nation and said that, right, said that these countries, have a big role to play in world economy as well as world fight against any socio-environmental problems are concerned. So India became very, very happy that Indian representative said, this is what we were telling the world for many years, that India is a world leader, it has a big role to play. Okay, it has a big role to play. This is why we have been saying that we should be given a permanent seat in United Nations Security Council. Indian economy is the 3rd largest economy in the world on the basis of purchasing power parity, and so on and so forth. India is a responsible nuclear power as well, and India is the largest democracy in the world, and so on and so forth. Like that we said. Okay, but what was the intention with which US threw this idea at Copenhagen, that these countries will have to commit for target reduction? These countries, so US anyway was in Annexure 1, so it was obligated under Annexure 1 to go for target reduction, but it was favoring China, India, Brazil and South Africa, also to be brought under target reduction regulation. Now the moment, USA, right, the moment USA said this, that India is one of the basic nation and has a big role to play as far as economic challenges at global level are concerned, it also has to play a big role as far as world fight against any social or environmental problems are concerned. So what India did at Copenhagen, when our Minister for Environment, Forest Conservation and Water Resources, stood up to speak, he said that India now will go for voluntary target reduction. And the moment India said this, all the member country, right, they gave a wide range of appreciation. For 2 minutes inside the hall, everybody was standing and clapping in appreciation of what India did. And then our representative could sense that out of excitement, we have committed something, big. Now, what happened? That when later we realized by, committing voluntary target reduction, we have actually attempted, we have actually committed for a cap as far as economic development in India is concerned, because now we will have to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases, meaning our electricity generation cannot increase, and electricity is the prime mover of economic growth and development, and maximum electricity generation in India is through coal-based thermal power plant. So we realized, okay, but now we said that, so we have to stand. Okay, now everybody expected that following what India has done, even China will promise voluntary target reduction, but China preferred silence. Rather, China also very smartly appreciated what India has, done, and asked annexure 1 countries that they should go for target reduction, whereas non-annexure 1 country must take all possible affirmative action for restricting the emission. Okay, and same way Brazil. But you know very well, India is leader as well. So many Afro-Asian countries from Africa and Asia, following India, they followed India. Almost 113 countries followed India, okay, and they were in non-annexure 1 countries, but they also opted for voluntary target reduction. But the big thing about this was that even though they followed India and committed voluntary target reduction, but that would hardly impact the economy in these countries. Why? Because they were emitting very less. Now if Nepal is saying, that we will also go for voluntary target reduction, now they will reduce, but they are emitting so less. But yes, their intentions must be appreciated, but it was not going to make much adverse impact on their economy. But as far as India was concerned, okay, some genuine concerns emerged immediately when we committed for voluntary target reduction. Anyway, words spoken cannot be taken back, that too when representative of a country is speaking at such an important global platform. When the representative came back India, I don't know, but must have got a scolding from Prime Minister and other officials. But anyway, we said that. So one thing which happened, concept of basic nation emerged. And second thing what happened at Copenhagen, that first time there was quantification of climate finance. Okay, so for the first time, I hope you might have heard about GCF, Green Climate Fund, but this name was not given, but this idea was, generated that under this Green Climate Fund, this fund will be having a annual flow of 100 billion US dollar. 100 billion US dollar, okay, by year 2020. By year 2020, so this was agreed that all developed countries will contribute, and their contribution should be to the extent of 100 billion US dollar per year by 2020, and this would be the money which will be used by developing nations, where they will adopt cleaner, and greener energy to accelerate the pace of economic developments. Okay, so cleaner, greener, safer mode with which electricity will be generated, and in all other activity, they should not pollute the air. They should not allow too much emission of greenhouse gases. For that, whatever is required to be done to meet the expense for those things, annually there will be a flow of 100 billion US dollar. So Copenhagen 2009 COP15 has gone in the history book for these two things. One, emergence of the concept of basic nation, and second, quantification of climate finance. And what was the quantity? 100 billion US dollar through contribution from developed countries by year 2020. So each year, 100 billion US dollar to address the needs of, developing country, to address the financial needs of developing countries, and then, they can combat climate change better, and they can adopt, those means of electricity generation and other activities which are cleaner, greener, safer and sustainable. Okay, and less or rather no release of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, now anyway, we have to next talk about Warsaw. Okay, but just I will, because how that interesting story came to an end. Okay, so when India committed for voluntary target reduction, and then 113 small countries from Africa and Asia, they followed India, but China, Brazil, South Africa, the other three countries within basic nation, they preferred silence. Okay, so everybody at Cancun was waiting for India in 2010, that since India committed at Copenhagen in 2009 that it will go for voluntary target reduction. Now, what is the voluntary target reduction may India, announce at Cancun? So there was a lot of expectation was there, a lot of, curiosity was there among the member countries that what kind of voluntary target reduction India is going to announce. Okay, voluntarily, nobody has asked. We have said that we will go for target reduction. Okay, so then what happened? That at Cancun, that by that time our environment minister was, Jairam Ramesh. So then what happened that when he went to Cancun during this summit, when the turn of India came to speak, there was a pin drop silence. Everybody was listening very carefully. All, member country and the delegation of all these countries, they were very silently listening to what India's environment minister has to say. And our minister, gave a new twist to the whole talk, and very smartly, steered the discussion, which was focused, the focus of which shifted from India to China. You know what Indian environment minister said? That India stands firmly committed for voluntary target reduction, but it will go for it only when such voluntary target reduction are agreed by China and other countries from among basic nations. Now, now the whole talk focused on China, that you also commit voluntary target reduction, because India is saying that it will do only if China, Brazil, South Africa are doing. China said, what is this nonsense? We never said that we will go for voluntary target reduction. How can voluntary target reduction be with preconditions? And if it is with precondition, how can it be voluntary? So more and more China attempted countering what India said. That generated, a strong feel against China, that China is now blocking the march of the world. So we very smartly added fuel to the fire at Cancun, where we said that we are very firmly committed for voluntary target reduction, but why India alone should go for it? Okay, let China, Brazil, South Africa also commit for voluntary target reduction, and USA anyway, they are obliged for target reduction. There is nothing voluntary for them as far as Kyoto Protocol is concerned. Okay, so that is why, that is how the idea came to the world that, there should be some or other target reduction for every country. And that is how, if you see, Paris Climate Agreement is completely based on nationally determined, contributions, NDCs. I will be telling you about NDCs. Okay, so that is what you should remember. So this was what happened at Copenhagen. This is how, this is why Copenhagen is very, very important, right? This is why Copenhagen talks are very, very important. Now, as far as, Warsaw is concerned, okay, as far as Warsaw is concerned. Now, Warsaw is important, okay, Warsaw is important because here the concept of REDD plus emerged. Okay, so REDD as a concept was there, okay, but at Warsaw in 2013 during COP19 was emergence of a new concept, in the form of REDD plus, right? REDD plus. And if I have to put it, the most important outcome of COP19 in 2013 at Warsaw was, was cutting emissions from deforestation. Cutting emissions from deforestation. Okay, cutting emission from deforestation through REDD plus framework. Okay, so this is how, right, Warsaw is very, very important. Okay, and as far as REDD is concerned, REDD as a concept is there since 2008. REDD as a concept is there since 2008, but as a REDD plus, REDD plus, it emerged in 2013 during COP at Warsaw. REDD is what? Reducing emissions. Reducing emissions from deforestation. Reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradation. Okay, REDD plus is what? Right, REDD plus is what? Reducing emission. Okay, reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradation. Forest degradation. Forest degradation. Okay, now what exactly? So just try to understand this. What exactly is the concept under REDD? And then what is REDD plus? Right, what is REDD plus? Now you will be able to understand the concept which is under REDD only when, right, you will understand this fact that forest is a carbon sink. Okay, so every time if there is a tree with very dense canopy cover, that tree is holding a large quantity of carbon with it. So when we cut and fell down a tree, it's not that we have damaged the future mechanism through which that tree would have absorbed carbon dioxide from atmosphere during the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so you know very well that they will absorb carbon dioxide during the process of photosynthesis, thereby they consume carbon dioxide. But at any given point of time in a tree, when they are green, in green leaves, large quantity of carbon, they are holding large quantity of carbon dioxide. The moment you cut the tree, the moment you uproot the tree, that moment immediately, instantaneously is release of large quantity of carbon dioxide. So by 2008, we have understood that forest is a carbon sink. And since deforestation is happening, since the quality of forest is deteriorating, that is also one reason why the percentage of carbon dioxide is increasing in the Earth's atmosphere. It is same way responsible for increase in the percentage of carbon dioxide in Earth's atmosphere the way combustion of fossil fuels. So we thought that if we have to bring a halt to release of carbon dioxide on account of cutting and felling trees, then we will have to fight against deforestation. And not only deforestation, but also we will have to not allow the deterioration in the quality of forest cover. And this is what led to the emergence of this concept of REDD, reducing emissions from deforestation and forest cover. Okay. So REDD as a concept evolved in 2008. As a concept evolved in 2008. Okay. And as far as REDD as a concept is concerned, you know, this concept is basically, right, this concept is basically the global endeavor to create, you know, to create awareness for countries to protect forest, better management of forest, save their forest resource, and thereby they can contribute to global fight against climate change. Okay, so you can even write down, it's a global endeavor to create an awareness for protecting forest, better management of forest resource, and thereby contributing in global fight against climate change. Okay, and how we can, you know, how we can aware countries, awareness not by giving ज्ञान देकर awareness नहीं, incentive देकर के awareness. Okay, so incentive centric है ये endeavor. Okay, so this is incentive based spread of awareness. We have to incentivize them so they are interested in knowing, understanding, and thereafter taking steps, you know, to bring a halt to deforestation and to not allow deterioration in the quality of forest cover. Okay, so this is something is concept of REDD, and I would just like you, okay, I would just like you that the incentive component within this initiative, right, was basically technical incentive and some financial assistance as well. Some financial assistance as well. Okay, and this to be provided by 3 organizations under this initiative: 1 FAO, 2 UNEP, and 3 UNDP, United Nations Developmental Program, Okay, but what they did, this is how 2008 was the emergence of this concept. Now at COP19 at Warsaw, COP19 under UNFCCC at Warsaw, what emerged? The concept of REDD plus. REDD plus. Okay. So when it comes to REDD plus, okay, so this goes merely beyond checking forestation and forest degradation. Okay. And then it talks about that we cannot achieve this until and unless very, you can say, attractive incentive is there, financial incentive is there. If a country is able to bring a halt to forest, degradation or deforestation, then it should be given money. And when they will be entitled for money, there will be more commitment in them not to allow deforestation. Because what's happening, what is driving the country? What is driving the country for so-called development? They want economic development. Within the economic development, they want the GDP of the country to grow. They want the income level for people to go high. So at Warsaw, it was thought that if you want really to reduce the emission from degradation of forest and deforestation, then we will have to go beyond what we are doing, and we will have to, right, think of many positive financial incentive through which we can bring an end. Okay, so this is something what is REDD plus. So REDD plus, okay, REDD plus is basically an effort. As a concept, it is an effort to create a financial value for carbon, effort to create a financial value for carbon, stored in forest. Carbon which is stored in trees and forest, in the forest. Okay. Now, this we have to create primarily for developing countries, because developing countries, they feel cut tree, use the land for some or other economic activity, sell the tree, and you will get money, you will get land. So until and unless we tell them that there is a financial value for this tree, if it is there, if it is cut, you will lose that financial value, as it is storing huge carbon in it. So whatever is the carbon stored in the tree has got financial value, then the commitment of the world will increase, to bring a halt to deforestation. So REDD plus is that just attach the financial value, and that can be the way you can protect deforestation. Okay, deforestation. So what I just want you to remember, right, that REDD plus, it goes beyond, much beyond merely checking deforestation. Merely checking deforestation and forest degradation. Okay, and it creates, financial incentives and positive financial incentives. It's not a bribe kind of thing, positive financial incentives, for conservation, sustainable management, of forests and every resource which is in forest. Okay, every resource which is in forest. Okay. Have you understood this? Okay, so what was realized at Warsaw? That we need to tell the people that, every tree has got financial value, and the financial value is on account of the carbon which is stored in that tree. If it is cut, then that financial value of the tree is lost. Even if it is not cut, but it is in the process of drying up, then carbon stored in it is reducing, and with reduction in the carbon stored in the tree, its financial value is also depleting. This is the idea under REDD plus. Okay, REDD plus. Okay, so that is there. Namrata Saini is saying REDD plus also financial assistance. Financial assistance is different thing. But here we are adding financial value to tree. And we are not only adding financial value to tree, but we are saying if the tree is bigger, if the tree has, large green canopy cover, then it will have higher value. Value will be dependent on carbon stored in that. Okay. If financial assistance can be what? Somebody who is staying in the forest, if you move out of the forest, we can better manage the forest, so, you will be given some money. That is not the idea under REDD plus, it's much, much beyond that. Have you understood, all of you? Yes or no, tell me. Yes or no, tell me, all of you give the clearance. Ben Johnson Lingdo is saying yes, sir. Okay, what about others? What about others? Give me the clearance. You understood the concept. There was a question in the main exam on REDD, and there is now, right? There is now the possibility of a question on REDD, because now REDD plus, I feel, can actually be the game changer as far as very fast depletion of forest cover is concerned, right? Of forest cover is concerned. So Pragati Negi is saying yes, sir. Okay. What about others? I am waiting for the response. Then I will tell you very, very important thing, right? Very, very important thing related with COP, right? Related with COP. Yes. Okay, so all of you understood? And India is, India is pitching very strongly that REDD needs to be seen in a broader context of REDD plus only, right? India is very strongly, you can even write down that India believes that REDD needs to be seen in broader context of REDD plus, in broader context of REDD plus. Okay, REDD plus. Now, right now, what exactly you need to know, right? What exactly you need to know. See, before Warsaw, when the parties met at Doha, ये देखो, अब यहाँ पे context आ रहा है लीमा का, since we are going to talk about Lima. ये देखो, before Warsaw, the COP18 was in 2012. Okay. Rohini Sohota is saying, I think I can write perfectly in the mains, but I don't know how UPSC will ask this. I mean, can it create confusion? There is a confusion which is in your question itself. Okay. So, on one hand, you are saying that I can write perfectly in the mains, but I don't know how UPSC will ask. Okay. So, the way UPSC will ask, that is the way you will write the answer. The answer should flow out of the question. You should understand the difference between REDD or REDD plus. If the question is REDD plus, then you have to go beyond, right, beyond, awareness among people that emission is also on account of deforestation, emission is also on account of deterioration in the quality of forest. This is REDD. REDD plus is financial value, and that is the better way through which we can protect, we can bring a halt to deforestation. We will not allow further deterioration in the quality of the forest cover, and thereby, if we are attaching some financial value, if we are able to tell people that trees are to be seen as a financial asset on the basis of, its health, the canopy density, then that can be a better way to protect the forest. Okay, so that is something. And REDD as a concept emerged in 2009. Okay, and REDD as a concept emerged in 2008, but REDD plus as a concept. And as far as REDD as a concept is concerned, under that it says about incentive. Incentive can be technical, and incentive can also be in the form of some financial assistance, but REDD, the technical or that assistance is to be provided by 3 organizations, FAO, UNEP and UNDP. Okay, so that is there. Anyway, now coming to this, right, 2012 COP, 18 at Doha. Now this was the year, right, this was the year when the first commitment period of Kyoto Protocol was coming to an end. You remember, first commitment period, 2008 to 2012. Okay, so the question before the parties were, what will happen after the commitment period is over? So the parties answered this question during COP18 in 2012 at Doha, and what was the answer? The answer was two answer to this question, that what will happen after COP, after Kyoto Protocol commitment period will end. So first answer was that Kyoto Protocol will enter in second phase of its commitment period, and second phase will be 2012 to 2020, second phase of commitment period. Okay, 2012 to 2020. Okay, and then it was agreed at Doha, that parties will formulate a new agreement, which will come into enforcement in 2020. In 2020, and this new agreement to replace Kyoto Protocol. Okay, Kyoto Protocol. But what happened is, some of the countries, after ratifying, after they agreed, they started walking out. Australia also decided, to walk out and like that. Okay, so there was a big concern at Doha. Okay, so decision was taken that Kyoto Protocol will be extended for a second commitment period, which will be from 2012 to 2020, and now the parties will formulate a new agreement, and this new agreement will come into enforcement in 2020, after 2020, and this is going to replace the Kyoto Protocol. So basically, an agreement was there at Doha, which led to the emergence of Paris Climate Agreement. Okay, so you just see, Doha में 2012 में decision हो चुका था, right? Decision हो चुका था कि क्या बनेगा? Paris Climate Agreement. Now at Warsaw, right? At Warsaw, in addition to REDD plus, right? In addition to REDD plus, one more concept emerged. And what was the concept at Warsaw? That INDC. Okay, so all the countries, right? All the countries or all the parties will submit, what? A nationally determined contribution. Intended nationally, during those days, intended nationally determined contribution. And on that basis, the new agreement will be formulated. So all the parties were asked that, dekho bhai, we don't want to force anything on you. Nobody wants to force. Coercive means nothing much can be achieved. Only through persuasive means everything can be achieved as far as world fight against climate change is concerned. Okay, so all the parties were asked that first you communicate what all you can contribute. Decide on your own what will be your contribution. as far as world's fight against climate change is concerned, and only way the world can fight is by reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. So you suggest on your own. Okay, so this gave birth to the idea of INDC. Have you understood what is INDC? You can write it down as well. Intended nationally determined contribution. And later on it became popular in the name of NDCs. Nationally determined contribution. Nationally determined contribution. Okay, nationally determined contributions. Have you understood this? So at Warsaw, what concept emerged? That all parties voluntarily, based on their capacity and competency, should formulate what can be their contribution as far as fight of the world against, this global warming is concerned or this climate change is concerned. And whatever they, whatever they want to contribute, they should decide on their own, right? And their, and their decision should be inspiring first for themselves and for others as well. But they need to communicate their INDC, intended nationally determined contribution, before the summit at Lima. So all the countries were asked that do brainstorming, do thinking, please evaluate your economy, please evaluate, what you want to contribute and gift to the world, how you want the generation next, and rest every other countries in the world look towards you, see towards you. Okay, so that was what was asked. So INDC. Okay, and all the countries were asked to submit it, before the, Lima talks, COP 20, 2014, before Lima talks, and this is the way, right? This is the way. Even India, right? This is the way. And it was decided that this will be the basis